Shalom, shalom. I do want to start off this lesson by saying all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, for giving me the opportunity to do this lesson. I do want to give double honor to the elders and Apostle GREATMILLSTONE for teaching the truth by using precept upon precepts and line upon line. Alright, this lesson I do want to get into today is World War III is more closer than we believe. And the reason why I want to get into this lesson and that topic is because of Canadian Prepper, the video he made yesterday of Iran explosion wasn't an accident. Peace talk fails. Russia issues warning. Shots fired. India. And the reason why I say this is because all the nation round about is getting ready for war. Israel is getting ready for war for Iran. Russia's getting ready for war with America. China's getting ready for war with America. India is getting war with Pakistani. All right, and so much more. The other NATO nations are getting war with other nations. So we're in a time where basically nations are basically at their peak of military might. They're all just gathering their missiles up. They're getting prepared. Allies is trading weapons, whoopty whoop, because they're getting ready to prepare for war. All right. If you guys ever had played games before, you know how you got your own weapon loot, and you got a lot. And this one friend of yours, he got a lot of weapons, so he tends to like give you weapons here and there, give you money so you can buy weapons, and you do the same thing for other people. You know, you guys basically help each other out. That's basically what the other nations are doing. They're helping each other out. Why? Because they're getting ready to fight. They're getting ready to battle against their opponent enemy. All right, and ultimately, who is that enemy? America. And we're into that time where everything's gonna come to pass. So the first scripture I do want to grab, Book of Joel 3 verse 9 says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." All right, so there's gonna be a time where, yeah, it's lucky, but there's gonna be a time where the heathens is gonna come up for war. They're gonna all gather themselves up for war among themselves, and they're gonna fight among themselves. All right, and that's what we're entering right now. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Wake up all the mighty men and let them come up near. And that's happening right now. They're already waking up the mighty men. All the men of war is already getting prepared in the Middle East, even with their borders. They're all getting prepared. Even they got their nukes ready to go. All right, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks unto spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's happening right now too. If you have saw the trading situation that's happening with America and China, China has been a weaker nation for centuries. Now China has become a powerful nation to the point where it's saying, I am strong. And I don't care what you say anymore. All right, Elder Pastor made a view of how China saw Trump flinch. All right, meaning that they saw Trump being weak, and now they're not scared anymore, and they're like saying we could do anything we want because you can't do shit, you can't fight, you can't hit us anymore, you can't do what you could do in the past. Why? Because America is weak, and America now is in this time of where Yahweh Shema Shai is going to kill it off for all his wickedness, and Yahweh Shema Shai is using these nations to do so. All right. And these nations are what? Now saying that what? That I am strong. I am not weak anymore. I am not a little boy. Because now they're strong too. All right. So Book of Joel 3 verse 10 says, beat your plowshares unto swords and your pointing hooks unto spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Verse 11, assemble yourself and come all ye heathens and gather yourselves together. Round about. Hither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai. Slakia. So let's read it again. Joel 3, verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about. Hither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai. So assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, all the nations come down. Upon who? Well, on where? In the Middle East. Because that's mainly where they're going to fight. And gather themselves together round about. Hither thy cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Verse 12, let the heathens be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, as in the Middle East, Yahweh Shaphat, or Yahweh judgment. For there will I sit and judge all the heathens round about. And that's where War 3 is going to be mainly taking place. Where he's going to fight one another, missiles flying, and ultimately where the ultimate judgment going to come to pass to all the nations. All right, that's why Scripture says in the book of Isaiah 34 talks about how there's a great slaughter. Let's go there real quick. Isaiah 34. Let's go to verse. Let me see. Let's go to verse 2. It says this: For the indignation, for the righteous anger of the Lord Yahawah is upon all nations, and his fear upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He had delivered them to the slaughter. In the Middle East, what's going to happen is that YAHAWASHI is going to start slaughtering these heathens. All right, for ultimately for their judgment for what they have done. And that all this is going to happen within World War III. This is not going to happen in, next year, generation. No, this was going to happen within World War III, entering that time right now. How do we know that? Because other nations are rising against other nations. Other kingdoms are saying, fuck it, we're going to get ready for war. And they're all gathering themselves up in the Middle East. That's like the main focus. That's like the main area that they're going into. And why? Because Iran is allied with Russia, and Russia's allied with China and the other nations. And everybody is envy against what? America. America is allied with Israel. Israel is the one who's trying to fight Iran. So you can see the conflict that's happening right now. If Israel attacks Iran or vice versa, what's going to happen? Israel's going to attack or Iran's going to attack, and the other nation's going to join in World War III sparks in right there. And everybody else that was having beef with one another, as soon as that war starts, they're going to start their war too, because why the fuck not, They got friends too. They got allies, so why not? And war is going to happen. And they're all going to focus on the Middle East, and that's when YAHAWASHI is going to gather his angels, his power, to judge the heathens for what they have done. And all that's going to happen in World War III. That's what's about to come to pass very soon. All right? For everybody wickedness. And we're entering that time. We're entering that day of the Lord judgment. For the indignation, the righteous anger of the Lord Yahawah is upon all nations, his fear upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. Verse 3, their slaves also shall be casted out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountain shall fall, shall fall. Salakia. Let's read it again. Isaiah 34, verse 3. Their slaves also shall be casted out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountain shall be melted with their blood. Because thermonuclear missiles are going to be there. The YAHAWASHI chariot is going to be laser beaming the soldiers down there. The whole thing's going to be melted with their blood. Verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. What is that talking about? The ICBM missiles, the mushroom cloud, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth off the vine, and a falling fig from a fig tree. That's symbolic for the thermonuclear missiles that's about to come to pass. The leaves represents the nukes that's about to fall. It's like a symbolic way of how many nukes gonna be falling in those days. All right, and it's gonna be a lot because America has been prophesied to get hit by multiple nukes, by multitudes. All right, so it's gonna be as the host of leaf falling from the fine tree, or as a falling fig from a fig tree. It's gonna be a doop 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 rumbling on America, and it's gonna be a great slaughter in those days. So bad to the point where they're gonna say, "Alas, alas, that great city! In 1 hour, so great rich comes to naught." All right, and that's in the book of Revelation 18, verse 16. Revelation 18, verse 16. It says this, and saying, "Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls." And what is that great city? That's America. For in 1 hour so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the companies and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, "What city is like unto this great city?" Because what's going to happen to America is that it's going to get hit by multiple nukes. Everybody that was trading by the sea stood afar off, realizing that America has been destroyed. And the reason why people is crying is because nobody else is going to buy their merchandise anymore. Because the number one nation on earth that buys merchandise and do a lot of consuming is America. America is a nation that makes other nations rich. If you're like a small nation and you need to get back up in power, make a random product, make that product comparable to other nations, damn near make it better than other nations, sell it in America, and you get fortunes. You rise up in power. That's what happened to Japan. That's what happened to China. That's what happened to other nation that was in the bottom. That's why they're in top right now. That's why they're in power, because of America. All right, and they're gonna cry in those days when America gets nuked because, they hated her. They ultimately just hated America because America was full of shit. Even the NATO nations hate America because America keeps on doing these policies that affects them and doesn't affect themselves. So they see the selfishness of America and they realize that America is not there for their benefit but for her own. So they're going to betray America and ultimately shoot their nukes at America too. The beast shall hate the whore. You know, everybody's is going to be roundabout against America in those days. I want to get a precept about that. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 14. It says, let me see. Yeah. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 14. Pull yourself in array against Babylon round about. All you that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord YAHAWASHI. And if you can see the word, it says Babylon round about. Round about. Meaning that all the nation that has nukes, all the nation that's against her, go against her. And that's what's going to happen. Every nation that's going to be against her is going to be against her. Even the NATO nations. All you that bend the bow, all you that have the nukes. There's some nations and there's some NATO nation that has nukes. France. Is not France talking about how we should leave America? That article came out since, I believe, somewhere in the C-19 incident. All right, but that's being proven right now. They're considering to leave America. All right, and how do I know this? Is because there's an article that came out how they're planning to ask America to leave the NATO nations because they seen that America is just a radical individual. So it says, all you that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against Lord YAHAWASHI. And I bring that statement up to bring out the point that very soon that they're going to shoot at America because America is ultimately their enemy too, and they're gonna spare no arrows in those days. And who's gonna put the spirit upon these nations to do so? YAHAWASHI, because America has sinned against YAHAWASHI with all this policies against Israel, against the children of Israel, so-called Negroes, like the Americans, against everything. He's gonna judge America for their suffering. Verse 15, shout against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundation are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahawah, BAHASHAM Yahushai. Take vengeance upon her, as she have done, do unto her. All right, and that's going to happen very soon. And that's going to happen within what? Within World War III. All right. When I say World War III is coming to pass, what I'm saying is that YAHAWASHI is near and America destruction is coming near. And we're entering that stage. We're right now in the stage of where the heathens are rising up against one another. The nations are saying, the weak nations are saying that I'm strong. And they're not holding back anymore. They're not listening to America anymore. And ultimately, when Israel, starts going to war and shit hit the fan, America is done. All this is gonna start collapsing because every nation is against America. Every nation is prepared for war. Everybody's prepared for war. Everybody, you think of a nation that they're damn near prepared for war. Germany, Poland, UK, basically the whole Middle East or Europe or West Asia. All right, they're all prepared for it. They already know the situation. They know what's going on. They're all prepared for it. They damn near teaching their kids how to survive a nuclear retaliation. That's how prepared they are. The only nation that's not prepared is America because America is America is a what's it called? Dang, what's it called? Dang, I had a brain fart. It's a pleasure land. I will say that. It's a pleasure land. They don't really pay attention. American citizens, they're just dumb. I'll just say that. They're just stupid. That's why they're not prepared. So when all hell break loose, it's gonna be a sudden destruction. It's gonna be, out of the blue. And it's gonna come in very soon. Or not next week, not tomorrow. It's coming very soon. But that's what I want to get into today. Lord, you certified by this lesson. And this warning, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, for giving me the opportunity to do this lesson. I do want to give double honors to the elders and Apostle GREATMILLSTONE for teaching the truth by using precept upon precepts and line upon line. Shalom.